Attention passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. All right, folks, today we're diving deep into something that has been stirring up a lot of buzz in the NFL, and of course, right here in Cowboys Nation. It is no secret that whenever there's a high-profile free agent or a star player involved in trade rumors, the Dallas Cowboys somehow inevitably find themselves in the middle of the conversation. It is almost like an unwritten rule at this point. Why? Well, because they re-America's team, and that label comes with a certain expectation to always be in the mix, always looking for ways to elevate the roster, to chase that elusive Super Bowl title. But what has really been catching everyone's attention lately is the buzz around Jaire Alexander, the talented cornerback of the Green Bay Packers. Yes, that Jaire Alexander, a guy who has been one of the most electrifying defensive backs in the league since his debut in 2018. And the reason he is suddenly front and center? Well, it all started when the Packers made the decision to release him after a few seasons of solid production, a move that surprised many fans and analysts alike. Now, just imagine the scene. Jaire Alexander, a first-round pick back in 2018, a player who has consistently been a key piece of Green Bay's secondary, suddenly available on the open market. Since entering the league, he has amassed some impressive stats: 287 total tackles, 5 sacks, a dozen interceptions, and even a touchdown to his name. That kind of production, especially at the cornerback position, is highly coveted, and naturally, every team with playoff aspirations is now looking at him as a potential game changer. And the Dallas Cowboys, with their recent roster moves and strategic approach this offseason, are definitely in that mix. It is not just wishful thinking, there is real interest, and the whispers are growing louder. When the Cowboys' mandatory minicamp kicked off on June 10, the media was quick to ask head coach Brian Schottenheimer about the possibility of adding Jaire Alexander to the team. Now, Schottenheimer, as we know, is a master at keeping things vague and diplomatic. He is not one to just spill the beans about every rumor, but what he did say was telling. He mentioned that we monitor everything and that they always looking. That is a pretty broad statement, but it is significant because it signals that the Cowboys aren't sitting idly by. They're doing their due diligence, watching the market and assessing their options. It is a classic coach speak response, but it is also the kind of thing that fuels speculation and hope among fans. So the question remains, could Jaire Alexander actually be heading to Dallas? Well, considering how active this front office has been this offseason, bringing in new talent in free agency, making strategic trades, and trying to bolster their defense, the likelihood is definitely on the table. Remember, the Cowboys have shown a willingness to swing for the fences when it comes to adding impact players. Post-June 1 cuts open up new opportunities for teams to acquire big-name talent without the hefty cap hits that come earlier in the season. It is a window that savvy teams like Dallas are always watching, and a player of Alexander's caliber fits that mold perfectly. Now let us take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The Cowboys' defense has been a strong suit over the past few seasons, but there is always room for improvement. Their secondary, in particular, has been a topic of discussion, especially with Trevon Diggs locking down one side and other players trying to find consistency. Adding someone like Jaire Alexander could be the missing piece that elevates the entire unit to elite status. His ball-hawking abilities, combined with his coverage skills, could make life a nightmare for NFC East quarterbacks. And that is exactly what Dallas needs: more playmakers, more turnovers, more disruption. And speaking of the defense, let us not forget how much Micah Parsons has been leading the charge. The star linebacker has been a force of nature, earning Pro Bowl honors and being considered one of the most disruptive defenders in the league. Parsons, along with Trevon Diggs and new additions, could form an even more formidable front seven with Alexander in the secondary. Imagine a defense where quarterbacks are constantly pressured, where receivers think twice before running routes, and where turnovers become the norm. That is the kind of team that can contend deep into the playoffs and, dare I say, make a legitimate run at the Super Bowl. But it is not just about adding a star. It is also about the roster's overall chemistry and fit. Alexander's style of play is aggressive, athletic, and instinctive traits that mesh well with the Cowboys' aggressive defensive philosophy. Plus, the team's coaching staff, including Schottenheimer and defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, are known for their innovative schemes that maximize player strengths. Bringing in someone like Alexander could be a strategic move to complement the existing talent and create a defense that's not just good, but downright terrifying for opponents. Now let us talk about the timing. The NFL offseason is a complex chess match, with teams weighing their options, cap space, and long-term planning. The Cowboys have shown that they are not afraid to make bold moves, especially when it comes to strengthening their core. The possibility of acquiring Jaire Alexander after the June 1 cut date is not just speculation, it's a very real option. It could happen via trade, or even a sign-and-trade scenario if the Packers are looking to recoup some value. And with the depth of talent on the market right now, Dallas might be one of the few teams with the cap space and the desire to make this happen. The fan base, of course, is buzzing. Social media is alive with discussions about Alexander's potential fit, what it would mean for the defense, and how it could change the division. Cowboys fans are always eager for that one move that could push them over the top. And this could very well be it. The NFC East is competitive as ever, with the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders all looking to improve. But Dallas has a chance to create a significant gap if they land the right pieces. And securing a top-tier corner like Jaire Alexander would be a statement of intent, an unmistakable signal to the rest of the league that the Cowboys mean business. Of course, we have to remember that nothing is confirmed yet. It's all in the realm of possibility, but that's what makes it exciting. The offseason is a period of anticipation, of strategic moves, and of hopes for fans who dream of that shiny Lombardi trophy. Dallas's front office has a history of making bold decisions, and if the opportunity arises to add a player of Alexander's caliber, you can bet they'll consider it seriously. They've been building a roster with a clear goal in mind: return to dominance and win championships. All right, now, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the bigger picture here. The NFL landscape is constantly shifting. Teams are always looking to upgrade, to find that one piece that can make all the difference. For Dallas, this season is crucial. The NFC is stacked, and the margin for error is razor-thin. Having a lockdown corner like Jaire Alexander could be the final piece needed to put the Cowboys over the top. It's about championship mentality, about making bold moves and trusting your personnel to execute. And knowing how much this team has invested in Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and the rest of the core, it's clear they're not just in it to compete, they're in it to win it. Speaking of CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys' superstar receiver, there's been plenty of buzz around his contract situation as well. CD has been vocal about his desire to get a deal done, and with his production on the field over 300 receiving yards last season, he's justifying every dollar. The team's front office is aware of how vital he is to their offense, and the negotiations are ongoing. But that's a story for another day. For now, the focus remains on how to make this defense even more formidable, and adding a player like Jaire Alexander could be the perfect move to do just that. Now, I want to take a moment to highlight some of the other players to watch during the upcoming Cowboys minicamp. Of course, Micah Parsons will be the headline, showcasing his relentless energy and leadership. Trevon Diggs, coming off an injury, will be looking to re-establish himself as one of the top cornerbacks in the league. And the young guns on the offensive line are eager to prove they belong among the best in the NFL. It's a critical period where players set the tone for the season ahead, and the coaching staff is carefully evaluating everyone's progress. And let us not forget the special teams and the Cowboys cheerleaders, because it's the entire package that makes this franchise special. Fans love to see the passion, the dedication, and the unity that Dallas exemplifies. Every practice, every play, every moment during minicamp is a chance to see the team's direction and to get a glimpse of how they're reshaping up for what promises to be an exciting season. Going back to the potential Jaire Alexander move, it's worth noting that the Packers have been in a bit of a rebuilding phase lately. With new coaching staff and a fresh approach, they might be more open to trading their star cornerback if the right offer comes along. For Dallas, this isn't just about adding a player, it's about making a statement. It's about showing that they're willing to go all in, to leave no stone unturned in their quest for the championship. And for the fans, it's a chance to dream big, to imagine a defense that's nearly impenetrable, a team that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the league. Now, I know some of you might be wondering what's the timeline here. How quickly could this happen? Well, the NFL offseason is always unpredictable. But if Dallas decides to pursue Alexander seriously, we could see movement in the coming weeks. The team might work out a trade, or they could wait until after the July 4th holiday when more cap space becomes available. Either way, the signs point to a very active period ahead, and fans should keep their eyes peeled. And finally, I want to emphasize one thing. The Dallas Cowboys are always about the long-term vision. They're not just chasing immediate success, they're rebuilding a roster that can sustain excellence for years to come. Adding a player like Jaire Alexander fits perfectly into that plan. It's about solidifying the secondary, creating a defense that strikes fear into opponents, and setting the stage for a deep playoff run. The team's coaching staff, led by Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn, are known for their strategic brilliance, and they're always looking for ways to maximize their talent. So in summary, what does all this mean for Cowboys fans? It's an exciting time. The potential acquisition of Jaire Alexander could be a game changer. It signals the team's commitment to excellence and their desire to compete at the highest level. The offseason is still unfolding, and while nothing is guaranteed, the signs are promising. We're witnessing a franchise that's willing to make bold moves, to push all in, and to put themselves in the best possible position to finally return to the promised land. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Alexander is the piece that will take the Cowboys' defense to new heights? Are you excited about the direction the team is heading? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates and insights, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. This team is on the rise, and together we're going to follow every step of their journey toward greatness. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys.